Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for watching my video and do all that good YouTube stuff. Share it, like it, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, subscribe, all the things that you do. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video and saving some money perhaps. I also invite you to check out the links in the description for some long-term savings with the stock market and checking out the links for either E-Trade or M1 where you can save and trade fractional stocks, or Webull, which is usually giving away a couple free stocks for just depositing $100. So I strongly invite you to invest in your future and check them out. Thanks, and let's get to the video. 2006 Jeep Liberty Renegade heater core replacement. Two 10mm nuts on this washer here. Dealy bopper. Probably looks like it slides off here, right here. Two clamps right up there. Took off the heater hoses and blew some air through there maybe and clean out that a little bit. And then I think maybe we'll be able to leave this on. I'm going to test drive this theory. Took a 10mm nut off here. Took this clamp assembly off here. You'll see it right down here. Just took the 8mm bolt out. So 8 and 10mm bolts right there. That's what I've done out here so far. I think it's a 5.5mm bolt, 2 bolts. Or maybe 6 holds that in on. Just a couple rubber friction fit plugs in there, pop those out. You do need to take those side bolsters out to get to this off. See, it's a friction fit. It has these clips along there. Just pry it out. And that comes off. Bolts. Bolts. Next. This is a single black vacuum line. Here is on this box. There is a nipple back there, trust me. Just friction fit for this as well. Pulls up. The side panel kind of just falls off. So both sides just kind of fall off. Side piece. Let's pull up on this friction fits again. Pull it out of here. 13mm bolt there. 10mm bolt there. So this just pulls out. However, for me, there was no bolts. Someone's been here before. No bolts. So I just put it back in. Shift it back into first. I'll plug in here. As I slide this tab to the right, as you see, just push it through and then you can squeeze this tab here to release. The glove box has 2 tabs. You just push these in and you can drop it down. It just hinges on these 2 pieces here. And then for the glove box, you can just slide it over into the slot. Slide it over and it'll just come right out. Same with this bottom piece over here. I think we need to get these two 10mm bolts out of here. And I took out two 13mm bolts, two 10mm or 13mm nuts here, two 8mm bolts here, 13mm bolt here on the side, same thing. Not sure if I had to take those 10mm, 8mm bolts out, so we'll do some editing maybe. Alright, around the four-wheel drive is just friction fit clips. Pull the rubber piece up. Get a 7mm screw here. This is up already. 7mm screw here. Again, friction fits. Pull the emergency brake handle up probably. Open this up and two more 10mm screws back here. And you can pop, assuming you have controls back here, more friction fits. Pop these out, get the control out, and disconnect the wiring. Windows, controls, just friction fits, guide pin, alignment pins, and then the connector. Push the tab here to release. Did take this off then. Push down on here. Push down on here to release. That comes off too. You gotta squeeze a couple pins. Cigarette lighter also has a squeeze. Got some free food. Tabs. We'll pull back on the tabs to release. And friction fit pins, dealy boppers. Looks like there was a screw in here, but again, I didn't have one if there was. And then you get two 13mm bolts. Right down here, there's also a 10mm bolt through here. Can't quite get it, but through that hole there's a 10mm bolt. Slid this rear air, floor air. It's got a friction fit pin here. Goes right there. Pull it up and out. Out of your way. And we'll get a 13mm nut over here, a 13mm nut over there, and I'll get this bracket out and we can get this dash out of here, at least mostly out of here, looking like this. We'll see how it goes. Alright, we did disconnect the speaker. That's inside here. Speaker, disconnected it, two 8mm or two 7mm bolts. I was pulling some wiring harness out of a connector. Disconnected this plug in here. Push the tab to release. We'll disconnect this. Yeah, we'll disconnect this from the box as well. I also disconnected these two items over here. Give me a little more slack. Again, just push to release. This was actually like a 10 millimeter. Goes in here, you unscrew it, it kind of pulls itself out, and you, when you can, put it back together, push that in, and it'll pull in with the screw when you tighten it up. I went ahead and took out the 13 millimeter bolt underneath here for the steering wheel pivot underneath there. Just gave me a little more freedom to pull things back. I think the big thing is trying to get this thing over that bracket. Sponge it over to the side there. Guide. So here's my heater core, looks like right here. Looks a little different than the videos I've seen. It's got one, maybe two screws. We'll take those out and see what happens, but I'm sure we're gonna have to take this box and bring it towards us. 10 millimeter bolt there. 10 millimeter bolt there. And let's see. We'll see if there's anything else there. So I think that black finger there needs to sit kind of inside one of these slots here, because there's the bolts. There's a bolt hole, so that plastic needs to probably sit inside somewhere. Maybe that's where it's getting dirty right there, maybe. So that's kind of what you're fighting. I took the side piece out as well to give you a little more access to 8 millimeter bolts. For right here, see, this is disconnected. This is disconnected. And this is set free from this harness over here. Let's see, got our speaker wire disconnected. The vacuum line. Here's our vacuum right there. That connection, and pulled this off the front. Got my two screws out, and I tried to see if we could do it for you guys without doing any AC work, but I could not get the lines through far enough to get that heater core out. So the line's kind of stuck through the hole there, but this is hitting the firewall even unbolted, so I tried help you guys out, but I would go to a shop and have it evacuated, and then you can take it apart and have stuff put in when you're done. Try and pick up some new O-rings or gaskets for wherever you take it apart. For those, you do need to take these clips off. They just slide off, just a friction fit. You need some AC/fuel line disconnectors. Come in a little kit with different sizes, and I'll show you that stuff when it's apart. Oh, here's one extra one. So the part to the left, right on the left side, that needs to go towards the firewall. It snaps on the line, and then you slide it forward, and there's a spring inside that larger circular area, and that this piece inside opens up the spring, and then you can pull the line off. It just keeps coming this way. So if that's the firewall, clip it on there, it pushes in, pushes the spring and opens up the spring, then you pull the line off the rest of the way. So that's the idea behind those. Maybe they can do it when they evacuate your AC. Maybe they'll do that for you too. Alright, we capped off the ends. There's a vacuum line we disconnected on the other side. Capped off the ends, slid it out far enough. A couple little baby tangs to pull back on this side and over here. And it slides out. Got a paper towel down there absorbing the coolant, because it was leaking good. Floors are wet. So we're going to, here's the old one. And we're going to copy this here with our new one. New one, 2 new screws. Got some lovely installation. So we're just going to copy what they did on this and drop it back into place and put our screws in. Reverse procedure to install, and we'll show you some things along the way putting it back together probably. Alright, so it's going back together really well. I don't know if there's any too many tips. So I think my problem over here, I undid the 13mm bolt underneath for the steering wheel, because you have to lift up the whole assembly, but when you're lifting up, the steering wheel's sitting right on this bar here, so you're lifting up, you're kind of fighting the steering wheel. Maybe if you had someone hold the steering wheel up, then you could lift the dash up and pull it over those pieces that we saw on the back side. Maybe a little plastic finger in the aluminum groove, lift it up over that, and then you might have some luck. So but I just unbolted the steering wheel totally, so it would kind of go up and down, give me some freedom to lift the dash assembly up and down. So that's where we're at. This was showing this glove box feature here, and you just slide it over and take it off. There's the fingers you push in to release on both sides. Glove box is in. We'll do the same for the other side there.